So if Bitcoin simply repeats what it did in 2013 and 2017, it is going to hit $2,660,000 on December 14th, 2024. And I know how crazy that sounds, but today I'm going to explain the shocking maths behind this 12-month Bitcoin prediction. We're also going to be looking at the Bitcoin multiplier effect and how it ties into this 12-month rally. And of course, I'm going to be showing you all of the bullish catalysts that actually suggest this 2 million Bitcoin price tag could actually be conservative. So let's begin explaining this one by looking at this chart here. I have 4 red boxes highlighted on the chart, and each one of these red boxes is looking at a 1-year period in time between a December to the next December in 12 months time. And you can see historically, Bitcoin likes to have these explosive 1-year rallies from December to December. So if we go all the way back in time to 2011, we can see the Bitcoin rallied from $12 in December 2011 to be worth over $1,200 in December of 2013. So this was over a 100x in price in only 12 months time. We can also see something similar happened between December 2016 and December 2017. Bitcoin rallied from being worth around $600 to nearly $20,000 in 2017. So this was a 33x in the Bitcoin price. So how did I get to that $2,660,000 Bitcoin price tag? Well, what I did was I looked at the multiples of each one of these Bitcoin bull markets. So we saw 100x 2013, we saw 33x in 2017. I said, okay, let's combine these together, get the average, and the average of these two bull runs is 66.5. And I said, okay, let's assume that Bitcoin is going to see something similar from this December to next December. And I simply ran the numbers and I said, okay, let's, for simplified purposes, assume the price of Bitcoin was around $40,000 on average in December 2023. And if the same thing happens, we are looking at a Bitcoin price tag of $2,660,000 in December 2024. Now, we're going to make the case for why we don't get the Bitcoin bull market this coming 12 months series, and why this face melting Santa Claus rally might actually begin next year in December 2024. We are going to get to that, but I first want to explain what is so special about December's. So what's so special about December? Well, it's actually 2 things. One is related to Bitcoin, one is related to the traditional stock markets. So if you look back at the past 100 years of data in the US stock market, what you actually see is something called a Santa Claus rally 79% of the time. So that's a pretty high percentage. And what a Santa Claus rally is it's looking at the period of time between December 2022 and January 3rd. So it's looking at a 2-week window. And typically you see a Santa Claus rally, which means stock prices going up nearly 80% of the time. So nobody has got a good explanation for what causes a Santa Claus rally. All we know is that rallies happen in December in the stock markets, and something similar happens in the Bitcoin space. Most people would be familiar with this chart. It simply shows what months return the best returns for Bitcoin. We all know historically that Q4 for every single year of Bitcoin is typically its best performing quarter. So that means Bitcoin does very well in October, November, and December. So again, that kind of aligns with that Santa Claus rally theory that we do see in the broader, traditional stock market. But let's zoom in a little bit more and have a look at what we have on our hands here. So if Bitcoin typically performs well in October, November, December, what that typically means is that Bitcoin begins these 12-month rallies that we're looking at today in the latter part of the year in December. It kind of begins this 12-month rally. And then typically you will also see Bitcoin gain a little bit of momentum throughout the year and then finish off this 12-month rally explosively, having another massive Q4. And we've seen this in every Bitcoin bull market that we've seen between December and December. So let's move on and let's actually start looking at the bullish and the bearish situation for this hypothetical scenario that could happen in Bitcoin. So most of you guys would know that I'm probably typically leaning towards the bullish situation under most circumstances. So of course, let's start with that one. There are lots of Bitcoin OGs actually predicting that Bitcoin is going to see an absolutely face melting 2024 rally. Okay, of course, we have Adam back. He actually still believes that Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 before the April 2024 Bitcoin halving. And let's not forget, he actually made that prediction over 2 months ago when Bitcoin was languishing in the 20s and the $30,000 range. Okay, so again, Bitcoin's pumped pretty aggressively over the past couple of months. So let's not count this Bitcoin prediction out. Okay, and then we have another blockstream guru and Bitcoin OG, Samson Mow, who actually believes that in the days and weeks following a Bitcoin spot ETF approval, we could hypothetically see some sort of rally that takes Bitcoin from these very low numbers all the way up to $1 million.
So I don't think this rally is a very special rally. This is a rally for ants. So the real rally is when we go to 1 million. And that is when the spot ETFs are approved and we have tens of billions, maybe hundreds of billions of dollars inflowing to Bitcoin in a very short time frame. I'm talking about weeks or days to weeks. For me, for my prediction, the catalyst is that unlocking of a torrent of capital to pour into Bitcoin in a very short time frame, because it also looks like all the ETFs are going to be approved on the same day, if not in a very short time frame. So what you do is you're hitting a very limited supply of Bitcoin on the exchanges and available for purchase with a torrent of money. So it's basically supply shock multiplied by demand shock, and that gives you price shock. So this is why you can go really high all at one time. And we've seen Bitcoin go up 20x in about 9 months back in 2016, 2017. So it's not unheard of that Bitcoin price appreciates by 20x. I think when you said I'm doubling down, I was critiquing or commenting on Balaji's prediction earlier this year about Bitcoin going to 1 million. But his prediction was predicated on banking collapse and money printing. But my theory is that money printing is sort of like boiling the water very slowly. You know, you crank up the temperature very gradually. So it's not a shock to the system. And it takes years for that to kind of permeate the economy and people to understand that money has been printed. 1 million run up with the ETFs is a shock to the system. It's not that slow boil.
And Samson bases this prediction or theory on the Bitcoin multiplier effect. We are going to talk about that a little bit later, but I want to talk a little bit more about the bullish case for 2024. Of course, we have things like the Bitcoin halving taking effect in early April 2024. And a lot of people say, hey, look, this is interesting that for the first time in Bitcoin's life, price hasn't actually followed the Bitcoin hash rate. Okay, typically, price follows hash. We are going to break this down in a little bit more detail in a future video, but I would just like to show you this absolutely parabolic chart of the Bitcoin hash rate, and it has continuously hit all-time highs every single couple of months after the China Bitcoin mining ban in 2021. However, the Bitcoin price hasn't actually recovered to the level that it was in that 2021 era when China banned Bitcoin mining from its country, okay? Hash has taken off. So is price going to catch up? Let's talk about that a little bit later on, because I first want to get a little bit more grounded. Let's get a bit more conservative. Let's talk about the bearish case for why we might not see this 12-month rally that I'm talking about right now, okay? So a very important caveat about these 3 Bitcoin bull markets that we've been looking at in today's video is that they always happen in the year of the Bitcoin halving, okay? So of course, the 2012 to 2013 one, we had the halving in 2012. Same in 2016, we had the halving and the rally started later on in the year in December 2016. Same in 2020, we saw the halving in the second quarter of 2020. And we didn't see the beginning of the rally until December 2020, okay? Historically, we haven't had the halving yet. the halving doesn't actually start until April 2024. So that means historically, we might not see this 12-month Bitcoin rally begin until December 2024. So we might actually hypothetically not see this $2,660,000 Bitcoin price tag until December 2025. But that's based upon the assumption that the Bitcoin bull market we're seeing this time is the exact same as the Bitcoin bull market that we saw in 2012, 16, and 2020. And longtime viewers of the channel will know that I think 2024 is wildly different to any Bitcoin bull market we've seen before in history. We got spot ETFs coming, we got hash rate going parabolic, we got nation states mining Bitcoin all around the world, like the Kingdom of Bhutan, Oman, El Salvador. You're watching even Saudi Arabia start to kind of flirt with the idea of Bitcoin mining. And then, of course, we have the Bitcoin multiplier effect. We haven't even begun talking about how the Bitcoin multiplier effect could essentially create a Bitcoin double halving. Now, if we're going to open the can of worms, that is my theory on the 2024 upcoming Bitcoin double halving, we're going to need a whole nother video breaking down exactly what that is. And you guys are in luck. I filmed that puppy and it is going to be out next week. But if you want to learn a little bit more about what the Bitcoin double halving is and to bring yourself up to speed on the Bitcoin multiplier effect, which is a core premise that the Bitcoin double halving is built upon, you can check out a recent video that I filmed on that topic. I'm going to slap a link on screen right there that's going to take you straight to that video. And with all that said, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoyed the video popped up on screen right there, and I will see you all in the next one.